The long journey from Egypt to God's presence reached its fulfillment. What began with deliverance from bondage now ended with dwelling in glory. The tabernacle, God's chosen meeting place with his people, was complete. Every board, curtain, clasp, and vessel had been fashioned exactly as the Lord commanded. Now came the moment to set it all in place and consecrate it for divine presence. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Set up the tabernacle, the tent of meeting, on the first day of the first month." It was a new beginning, the start of Israel's first year as a free nation under God's covenant. Liberation was complete, now came habitation. Moses obeyed. He placed the Ark of the Testimony inside the tabernacle and hung the veil to shield it, the sacred curtain that separated the holy place from the most holy. He set the table of the bread of the presence on the north side and arranged the loaves before the Lord. On the south side, he placed the golden lampstand and lit its lamps, filling the tent with warm, holy light. Before the veil, he positioned the altar of incense and burned fragrant incense upon it as God commanded. At the entrance, he hung the curtain to form the doorway of the tent. Then Moses set up the altar of burnt offering in front of the entrance, offering the first sacrifices upon it, a sign that fellowship with God begins with atonement. He placed the bronze basin between the altar and the tent, filling it with water for washing. From that moment onward, Moses, Aaron, and his sons would wash their hands and feet before ministering, a perpetual act of cleansing before service. He then erected the courtyard around the tabernacle, setting up its screens and posts, enclosing God's dwelling in order and beauty. When the last piece was set in place, Moses finished the work. Then it happened. The moment creation had been waiting for since Eden. The cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. The radiant presence of God descended, filling the structure with overwhelming splendor. The visible cloud of glory, the same that led them through the wilderness and shone above Mount Sinai, now rested among them. God had come to dwell with his people. Even Moses, who had seen God's glory on the mountain, could not enter the tent because the presence of the Lord was so powerful. The divine glory had transformed the tabernacle from mere materials into a holy habitation, from gold and fabric into the dwelling of the Almighty. From that day onward, the cloud hovered over the tabernacle by day, and fire burned within it by night, visible to all Israel. Whenever the cloud lifted, the people broke camp and followed. Whenever it settled, they stayed where they were. The Lord himself was their guide, his presence their direction, his glory their security. Thus the book of Exodus closes where Genesis began, with God dwelling among his creation. In Genesis, man was driven out from God's presence. In Exodus, God draws near again. The journey from bondage to blessing, from sin to sanctuary, from slavery to sonship was complete. Exodus 40 is the culmination of God's redemptive plan, deliverance leading to indwelling. He not only saves his people but lives among them. The tabernacle foreshadowed the coming of Christ, who would tabernacle among us in human flesh, revealing God's glory in grace and truth. Through Jesus, the veil is torn, the sacrifice fulfilled, and the fire of God's presence now lives within his people. The story that began with a burning bush ends with a burning glory. The same God who called Moses now dwells in the midst of his redeemed nation. His promise is complete. I will be your God, and you will be my people.